With me this morning are the following commissioners: Floyd B. McKissick Jr., William M. Brawley, Tommy Tucker, and Stephen J. Levitas. In compliance with the State Government Ethics Act, I remind members of the commission of their duty to avoid conflicts of interest and inquire as to whether any member of the commission has a known conflict of interest with respect to any matters coming before the commission this morning. Let the record reflect that no conflicts have been identified. So we will proceed with public staff item number 1.
Good morning. I am Evan Lawrence, an engineer with the Public Staff's Energy Division. Item 1 consists of a request for a renewal of a CPCN and registration for a clean energy facility for Healing Springs Solar, LLC. The public staff has reviewed the application, and when viewed in conjunction with the Commission's June 3rd, 2025 order granting the waiver motion in this docket, the CPCN renewal complied with the requirements of NCGS 62-110.1A and Commission Rule R-864. Further, the registration statement contains the certified attestations required by Commission Rule R-866B, and the public staff understands that some non-substantive edits have been recommended by the Commission staff, and the public staff recommends that the request to renew the CPCN be granted, and the renewal, the edits as recommended by the Commission staff be accepted as well, and the registration as filed by the applicant be accepted.
Move the item as recommended by public staff, subject to the fact that there may be technical non-substantive revisions made to the final order.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the item be approved as recommended by the public staff. Are there any questions or discussion? And I believe that Commissioner Tucker has a question.
Yes. You may or may not know the answer to this, and that'll be fine. Someone can get it to me later. What about the transmission expense for this 55 megawatt solar system? Does Duke have to run that and the ratepayers have to pay for it? Is the developer participating?
So this facility has been accepted within one of the solar RFPs.
Okay.
I do know that they had a previously executed interconnection agreement before even entering into the or before being accepted into the process, and I believe that the costs would be confidential, but my understanding is that those costs for the upgrades are factored into the overall bid for the project, and would ultimately be paid for by ratepayers through that RFP process.
Okay, so the ratepayers will pay for the transmission to the solar site.
That is my understanding.
Okay, all right. Let me think, and then so there's been no changes for this CPCN. It's original, just like it was first introduced to public staff, and there've been no changes at all.
Well, there was an amendment to the CPCN, which was filed, I believe, in 2021. And so this request for renewal does not modify that amended.
Okay, and just one other question. I mean, there are a couple of commissioners. When we build solar in the future, we want to entertain that the developer also includes storage. Does this one have any storage to be reliable when we need the source? Probably not, but just didn't know if you know, and if you don't, you can get back to me on that.
I can get back to you. I don't believe this one does, but
that'll be fine.
Check.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
It looks like we have some members of the company who are here to provide some additional answers. If you could come to the microphone and introduce yourselves for the record.
Hi, I'm Michael Forte with Cypress Creek. I'm a a senior project developer here with the company representing here today. So I appreciate you all for having me this morning. I guess in regards to the question surrounding storage, no, there is no storage currently proposed on the project. So it is just a solar only project at this time.
Okay, fine. Thank you. I thought that was the case.
Sure.
in the future, we certainly would like to see storage on the solar
Y-
project.
Yeah, and I mean, this project was proposed a little bit earlier before we kind of started making some of those additions to our project. But yes, I think that's kind of our intentions as well as far as future
Okay.
projects.
Very well, thank you.
And follow up to Commissioner Tucker's question, I believe that Mr. Evans said that it had been in one of the solar RFPs. Has it been, is it a winning project from the solar RFP? Has it been selected yet?
Yes, it was selected in the 2023 RFP. Yes.
And so therefore, because it was selected, it was considered, even with the cost of the transmission, that would be included one of the lower cost projects since it was selected. Is that a fair,
That's
a
fair.
fair statement?
hmm
Okay, thank you. And we have another question.
Just a brief question. It looks like from the records, the original CPCN was allowed to expire before you all began this process. What was the reason that you can provide for allowing for that expiration to occur rather than instituting this process before the expiration occurred? Now that you're there, I'd like to get some clarity as to what occurred.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's a great question. So, I mean, we had signed this interconnection agreement back in 2022, where we had a separate milestone schedule that was established, where we were initially looking to target a construction start before this renewal process. And so once we were selected from the 2023 RFP, we had signed that power purchase agreement in, I believe, June of 2024. And at that time, we were also speaking with Duke's representatives just on how to amend the milestone schedule on Appendix 4 of the IA. And so in doing so, we had received an updated draft with that time frame. And so as we had been sharing that information with our external EPC contractors, as that time had progressed, it was determined that they wanted to see if there was a potential chance for any kind of extension. And as such, we were in discussions with the project management team at Duke just to understand what their schedules were as well. And it wasn't really until post holidays, so it was probably towards the end of February, I believe, that we had received just an updated schedule. And at that point, we were under the impression that we may need to start some form of work prior to that expiration. And so that's what we were initially targeting. And at that point, we had realized that we were up against the clock, and that when Duke did come back saying that we could move out our time frame, which I believe is now for the substation pad delivery. This is in reference to August 4th, I believe, is what's currently being discussed. We realized that we can actually move beyond that, and at that point in time, it was realized that the expiration timeframe was coming up very close, in which we had tried to file us as quickly as possible.
Well, thank you for providing that context. I was just curious as to how it seemed to slip up without it being kind of a tickler on someone's schedule to say we need to do
No,
this
not
preemptively.
absolutely. No, I appreciate the question.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? The motion carries. And thank you, Mr. Lawrence. I apologize for calling you by your first name earlier. Yes.
Thank you.
We will now move to public staff item number 2.
Good morning. I'm Jay Lucas with the Public Staff's Energy Division. Item 2 is a request by DEP to amend the limited waiver of its code of conduct granted by the Commission on May 6, 2024. The Public Staff recommends that the Commission approve the proposed order, including the non-substantive changes recommended by the Commission staff.
Will the item as recommended by public staff, subject to technical non-substantive changes that may be made in the final order?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the item be approved as recommended by the public staff. Are there any questions or discussion from the commission? Commissioner Tucker?
Yeah, I hate to be asking every question. Mr. Lucas, there was a great deal of discussion. I don't know, Chair, you may remember 10 months, a year ago, about disclosure of information and the confidentiality of this whole waiver setup. I see that there are steps in here, but you talk about in here it's included that there won't be, or there'll be safeguards against improper closure. Can you tell me that, or share with me that there are any additional steps that are taken because it's coming up now that would make sure that someone couldn't take the zip codes or billing information, et cetera, to utilize it in some sort of mailing format, voter format, whatever. Could you share that with me, please, sir?
We haven't added additional safeguards. All the members of the affordability stakeholder group do have to sign the memorandum of understanding that they will not disclose it. We do have some safeguards that have been in place since the beginning, where it would be very difficult for someone to put pieces together for
Okay.
what is public information and be able to identify specific customers.
Okay, very well. Thank you, sir, for that comment.
And Mr. Lucas, I have one question. There's been a lot of background to this matter. And ordering paragraph number 4 states that DEP shall promptly report to the commission any misuse or unauthorized disclosure of the customer information that's provided pursuant to the limited waiver. It's my understanding that we have not received any information from DEP about any improper or unauthorized disclosure of this information. And just for confirmation, are you aware of whether that has happened? It has not been presented to the commission, but I just wanted confirmation.
We have no knowledge of any improper disclosure of the customer's information.
Okay, thank you. Any additional questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Tucker.
Mr. Lucas, just for the public's sake and perhaps my own edification, it talks about the limited waiver of code of conduct. Can you expound on what that really means? It sounds more serious than it really is. If you could, sir.
Yeah, that specific section of Duke Energy's Code of Conduct restricts it from releasing information that be improper, personally identifiable information to the public. This waiver allows this information, such as members that are participating in the CAP by zip code or by county. Members of the affordability stakeholder group can receive this information, but this memorandum of understanding that they sign limits what they can do.
Okay. Well, I just wanted that defined for the public, that there's not some expansive change in code of conduct in the way Duke and or the stakeholders disseminate the information and have to keep it confidential. But thank you, sir, for that comment as well.
Sure.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Lucas. We will proceed with public staff item number 3.
Good morning. I am Patrick Fahey, analyst with the Public Staff Energy Division. I would like to present items 3 and 4 together. So items 3 and 4 are docket number E2 sub 1036 and E7 sub 1028, which is Duke Energy Progress and Duke Energy Carolina's request to discontinue annual financial reporting requirements for Duke Energy Progress receivables and Duke Energy Receivables Finance Company. Duke requests that the reporting requirements be terminated as the receivables have been paid off earlier this year. The public staff agrees with the company in this matter and accordingly recommends that the commission issue an order accepting the proposed order.
Move items 3 and 4 as recommended by the public staff, subject to technical and subject to revisions and final order.
Second.
We have a motion and a second that items 3 and 4 be approved as recommended by the public staff. Are there any questions or discussion from the commission? Okay, seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Items 3 and 4 are approved. Thank you. So we will move forward with public staff item number 5.
Good morning. My name is David Williamson, and I'm an engineer with the Public Staff's Energy Division. Item 5 is a joint request by Duke Energy Carolinas, Duke Energy Progress, and the public staff for approval of a consolidated demand-side management and energy efficiency cost recovery and utility incentive mechanism pursuant to the Commission's May 22nd, 2024 order approving both of the company's cost recovery mechanisms. To date, no objections to this point, to this joint request have been filed in the docket, and the public staff therefore recommends approval of the proposed order as modified by the commission staff.
Move approval. Item number 5 is recommended by public staff, subject to any technical, non-substantive revisions that may be made in the final order.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that item number 5 be approved as recommended by the public staff. Are there any questions or discussion? Okay. Commissioner Levitas.
Could you or someone from the company just explain what this means in practice?
Sure. So the two companies, Duke Energy Carolinas and Duke Energy Progress, both have what is called a demand side management, energy efficiency, cost recovery mechanism. And essentially what that is a guide for parties, stakeholders, interveners, the commission, on how the energy efficiency and demand side management rider is going to be operated and how accounting will be dealt with and how avoided costs will be applied and how the performance incentive and the net loss revenues are going to be treated in each one of the different vintage years. And so DEC and DEP over the years have distinct differences in some aspects of their mechanisms. And part of the most recent mechanism review, there was a desire to kind of make one mechanism that would apply to both as opposed to having two individual mechanisms for both the companies. And so part of the commission's order in the last EE mechanism review was to work to consolidate these two mechanisms. And I think the deadline to file them was May 22nd of this year.
Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Tucker.
Just a question, and you may or may not be able to answer this, but this is merging an item. And of course, we look at the January 1, 2027 merger. Do or should public staff and the commission expect from Duke, or has there been any discussion about incremental merger items coming to us prior to the merger? Meaning, you know, this one's done and we merge it together, and will there be other subjects or other items that would come before us to approve as we move through the merger? I mean, it seems to me it'd be a large number of those if that's the way we're going to go about it. Do you have any input on that? And if you don't today, I'm fine.
I don't have any input on other items. I do know that at least in the DSME space, there are a lot of similarities between DEC and DEP that over the last couple of years, they've been working to kind of consolidate the approach and the measures and the marketing and EM&B in particular. But with regards to other aspects, I'm not too sure. But I do know that in this proposal, there are kind of items where there are some still distinctions between DEC and DEP, just because of the way that well, there are some distinctions that are highlighted in there that are DEC or DEP specific, but there are paragraphs that are specifically highlighted to if a merger is to occur, then this is going to happen. And so we shouldn't, at least until the next mechanism review, have to deal with merger related changes, at least in the mechanism space.
Okay, thank you for that. Thank you, Madam Chair.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Williamson.
Thank you.
So we will move to item number 6.
Good morning. My name is Derek Schofield. I'm with the Public Staff Accountant Division. Item P6 is docket number E7 sub 1276, a filing by Duke Energy Carolinas LLC regarding the existing Demand Site Management Program Rider, EDPR. The existing DSM Program Rider, EDPR, is based on December 31st, 2024 Legacy Demand Site Management DSM Deferral Account Balance and requested to be effective July 1st, 2025. Public staff has reviewed DEC's calculation of the proposed rider and determined the proposed rate decrement is reasonable and recommend that the proposed rider be approved by the commission inclusive of the minor edits made by the commission.
Move approval of item number 6 is recommended by the public staff, subject to any technical, non-substantive revisions in the final order.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that public staff item number 6 be approved as recommended by the public staff. Are there any questions or discussion?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Tucker.
just a quick question. When I see the word true up, I think about more expense for the ratepayers. What does this do here?
The true up is actually, is taking the projected numbers, and the actuals, so they're just, pretty much from the true up is for the estimates, and then the actual numbers come in, so they're just replacing or truing up the actuals from the estimates that were.
So we don't know what the actual numbers are at this juncture, right?
They're estimates.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
all right, thank you.
Okay, we have a motion. It looks like we have some additional information from the public staff.
Commissioner Tucker, Fan Shang with the Public Staff Accounting. So I just want to make sure, verify the true up is original have a projection, now is have the actual, so you're just reflecting the actual.
Okay. Okay, this is actual then.
Mhm.
So what was the outcome to the actual true up
So,
for the ratepayers?
so now is the document, as he said. So the EDPR, they has a base rate in the base rate case. And then now they're reflecting the actual, so you're just chewing up that to the base rate, like any change to the rate, and then they will reflect the actual during the test year.
Okay, so I guess oversimplified, or Commissioner Levitas can ask, but what's the increase or decrease? Is there one?
It's a decrement.
Since you have the actual numbers
There's a,
or the true up. I just didn't see that anywhere.
it consists of a rate decrement, of 0.0023 cents per kilowatt.
Decrement then.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Decrement.
thank you.
Yes.
Commissioner
But as
Levitas.
I understand it, the decrement is a smaller decrement than in the prior year, so there will be a slight increase in rates, correct?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Thank you for the information. We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. Thank you, and thank you for the additional information. We will now proceed with public staff item number 7.
Item P7 is docket number E7 sub 1026, a filing regarding Duke Energy Carolinas LLC, DEC, bulk power marketing true-up rider and BPM prospective rider filed on May 1st, 2025. DEC filed a revised BPM true-up rider and BPM prospective rider application on May 30th, 2025 for rates to be effective from July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026. Public staff has reviewed DEC's calculation of the proposed rider and determined that the proposed rate decrement is reasonable and recommend that the proposed riders be approved by the commission, inclusive of the minor edits made by the commission.
Recommend approval or move approval of item number 7 is recommended by public staff, subject to any technical, non-substantive revisions in the final order.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that public staff item number 7 be approved as recommended by the public staff. Are there any questions or discussion from the commission? Commissioner Tucker.
Over the years, I've had the opportunity to look at billion-dollar numbers in the state budget. Representative Brawley, now Commissioner Brawley, and I've looked at them, but am I looking at this? We're talking about 60 billion kWh. Is that what we're looking at here? Do I have my math and decimals right? That's all I'm asking.
I believe, yeah, it was 60,586,442 kilowatt hours. Yes, sir.
Is that 60 million or 60 billion?
That is 60 billion.
Billion,
Yes,
that's
sir.
what I
That's
thought.
60 billion. Yeah.
Okay, what represent, never mind. That number astounded me. I was reading it last night.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. Thank you very much. So we will now proceed with public staff item number 8.
Good morning, Chair and Commissioners. Fan Zhang again with the Public Staff Accounting Division. Item A is a motion made by DENC to revise its regulatory conditions and code of conduct based on the sales of PSNC. DENC requests to revise its regulatory condition and code of conduct to remove the language related to PSNC and a few minor edits. Public staff understand that the commission staff have a non-substantive change to the proposed order, and we agree with those the edits. The public staff has reviewed and the revisions and then discussed with the company on the matter. And the public staff further agree with the revision and recommends the commission approve the revised regulatory condition and code of conduct, including the non-substance added by the commission staff.
Move approval of item number 8 is recommended by public staff, subject to technical, non-substantive provisions that may be reflected in the final order.
Second.
We have a motion and second to that public staff item number 8 be approved as recommended by the public staff. Are there any questions or discussion from the commission? Commissioner Tucker.
Sorry to have so many questions. Does this mean SCANA name goes away? Is that what this means?
Both. So SCANA is the parent company of PSNC. So the regulatory condition and code of conduct, just like the lay out all those revision, the old one, including the language related to how to deal with business between all these three, two companies. But now since they sell the PSNC, so they just want to reflect that sales. So get rid of all the language related to the PSNC, including the SCANA, if they make reference in the original regulatory condition and code of conduct. So in other words, now the PSNC is sold to Inbridge, so
Right.
no longer SCANA.
Okay, so who is Dominion Energy South Carolina?
Okay, so that is one of the affiliate of DENC. So they are so basically in the regulatory condition, they want to add those two affiliates, want to specify in the code of in the regulatory condition to reflect the name. So what that is an affiliate.
It appears that we have a representative of the company to provide some additional information.
Good morning, Andrea Cowles with McGuire Woods. I'm here for Dominion. Thank you, Ms. Zhang. Yes, she's correct. And Dominion Energy South Carolina is the entity that used to be South Carolina Electric and Gas when it was a SCANA subsidiary and was purchased by Dominion. And then it became Dominion Energy South Carolina actually after the SCANA Dominion merger back in 2018. So that is a cleanup from going a little far back. But even though PSNC was merged with Enbridge, Dominion DESC, Dominion Energy South Carolina, remains a Dominion subsidiary and utility affiliate of VEPCO, Dominion Energy North Carolina.
Okay, so where's SCANA name?
It's not in here, it went away.
Well, it's listed as a Dominion Energy SCANA merger. on the
That's
second
because in
line.
2018.
Right, I realize that.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure, but I got the mergers, I think.
Yeah,
Historically, but SCANA is not here, it's going away. So, the lettering, decaling, et cetera, consumers in South Carolina, no SCANA, right?
it's Dominion,
It's Dominion
Right.
all the way. Okay.
as far as I'm aware.
Okay, very well. Thank you. Thank you for being here before July 4th, so you could get your billable hours in. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
It's a joke.
I know.
Okay, thank you for the additional information. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We now have before us the minutes of the June 2nd, 2025 staff conference for approval.
Move approval.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Any opposed? The minutes are approved. And I believe we have some additional business for the commission from the public staff.
Thank you. My name is Ann Keyworth with the Public Staff's Legal Division. I'd like to take the opportunity to introduce Matthew Randall, who will be serving as an intern with the Legal Division this summer. Matthew is a graduate of Baylor University in Waco, Texas, and he is in his second year at Elon University Law School. He served for nearly a decade in the United States Army as a squad leader, a company linguist manager, a core intelligence analyst cell assistant manager, and he's fluent in Arabic and is also an Eagle Scout. This summer, Matthew's hoping to gain experience in the utilities practice as well as conducting discovery and enhancing his writing skills, and we're excited to help him achieve those goals.
Mr. Randall, you have an interesting very impressive background. Would you like to provide a little bit more information or say anything to the commission while you're here?
Just like to thank everyone for the opportunity to get this experience, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, we're happy to have you here. What was your first day? When did you begin working with the public staff?
Just now.
Oh, today. Well, welcome. Let's see, Commissioner Tucker?
Nothing except thank you for your service.
Yes.
Thank you for your support.
Yeah. Well, I know that there's going to be plenty of work that you can help the public staff with, and we look forward to seeing you here and working with you over the summer. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Mr. Metz.
Good morning. I'm Dustin Metz with the Public Staff's Energy Division, Director. Chair, Commissioners, I'm honored to introduce two new public staff members this morning, Ms. Cheney and Dr. Weaver. Ms. Cheney is a summer intern with us, recently graduated with a bachelor's degree science with minors in data science and information systems from UNC Chapel Hill. She served as a teaching assistant for 6 semesters and was the president of the Women in Computer Science. In August, she'll be returning to UNC to begin a 1-year master's in computer science. During her master's, she'll be co-director of Graduate Women in Computer Science and will be researching applications of computer algorithms. Dr. Weaver is a full-time employee and a North Carolina native, born and raised in Apex, North Carolina. After completing her bachelor's degree in chemistry with a minor in math at Hamilton College in 2018, she spent a year of voluntary service with the Rio Grande Headwaters Restoration Project in Alamosa, Colorado. She completed her PhD in civil engineering with a focus on environmental engineering in August of 2024 at NC State, and she joins us following several months of service at the US EPA.
Well, we are very happy to have Dr. Weaver and Ms. Cheney here. Is there anything that you'd like to say to the commission?
Thank you, and I look forward to working with you.
Okay. Dr. Weaver, is today your first day as well?
No, I started June 3rd.
June 3rd. So you've been here a little while. And Ms. Cheney, is today your first day?
No, I started June 2nd.
June 2nd. Okay. Is there anything you would like to say to the commission?
I'm also very thankful for this opportunity, and I'm excited to work here for the next couple of weeks.
Well, we're happy to have you here, and we look forward to working with you permanently, Dr. Weaver, and over the summer, Ms. Cheney. Is there anything from the commission? Okay. Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there any additional business from the commission? Okay. Seeing none, we stand adjourned.